Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Voltron video. This is going to be my live reaction to the Voltron Legendary Defender Season 8 finale, the last episode. So this is episode 13, The End is the Beginning. So obviously I can't do anything in terms of like showing you the visuals on screen or anything like that. So I'll just kind of, you'll get my reaction here and I'll maybe talk about it a little bit afterwards. So yeah, we're going to start on Netflix here with the episode 13 here. We'll include the opening and all of this. So just have that episode open if you want to watch along with me, and we'll start from 0000 on this episode. And yeah, let's start now. Okay, Netflix logo. I'll do my best to add commentary while still actually watching the show here. So, yeah, I think the season's been pretty good so far. I think it has the usual Voltron thing where it's a lot of pretty nice ideas, but some weird execution when it comes to like giving you enough details about certain scenes. I think there's some really good character stuff going on this season with Onerva's motivations and little bits and pieces. Like I like the Oxia in one of the earlier episodes, bringing Zethrid and Ezor back. What they did with the Paladins in some of the more recent episodes. And as I said in my last video, what I'm hoping for out of this is some nice choreography in this big fight at the end. Give enough time for an epilogue and, you know, just, you know, resolve the characters nicely. Address the fact that, like, this Voltron series is popular because of how well it did its characters. So here we go. The end is the beginning. Big fight about to happen. Super Voltron, or Voltron combined, whatever you want to call it. Okay, what's going on here? Big blast. Zarkon from this alternate reality timeline. Is that Voltron's sword? Like, yep, throw the sword. So that's pretty cool. The sword looked really cool when we saw a little bit of it last time. That was cool. Okay, so a bit of a wrestling match to start off with. Okay, Keith obviously trying to avoid a lot of collateral damage. Okay, get the sword back. It's such a cool sword. Like just the hilt of it is so big. Yeah, it definitely feels like they're trying to add a lot of weight to the swings and stuff like that. Way more than with just Voltron versus like a standard size mech. It feels like they're going all out as much as they can. Okay, cool drill attack. But there seems to be putting a lot of animation into just the like effects of the destruction, which you sort of note. It is the finale of the show, so I assume that there's a lot of animation budget for this episode. Okay, I-beam, we haven't seen that in a while. I think the only time we saw them use that was when they were in like the Quintessence field against Lotor. Yep, mountains being destroyed, yeah, that's well animated. Oh cool, the sword can fly on its own. Okay, stabbed in the back. Yeah, they've been doing that a lot, kind of, in the last couple of seasons. Like, I think the first, like, 6 seasons, they avoided really doing any, like, obvious damage to Voltron. It was just, like, it was running out of energy and stuff like that. But, like, as of, like, season 7 and 8, it seems like they're more willing to just have, like, weapons, like, pierce through Voltron and it not be, like, invincible as much as it was earlier on. So obviously that's energy being sucked out of Voltron again. They definitely have done that way too much in terms of just like that being the way to get the advantage over Voltron, of just like sucking the energy out of it. It obviously allows you to do the big kind of comeback, everyone powers up, but it gets a bit old when you do it like twice in a row. Yeah, here's all of them struggling. Okay, pulling out the shards. Okay, nice animation effect there to add the weight to like how big those knife things are that were thrown. Another reality portal. Okay, so I assume they're just going to a different reality here, as that one's being destroyed, continuing on what it was. Which makes me wonder, like, her plan, like, was always going to fail, wasn't it? Because every reality that she went through would be destroyed. Or was the idea more that, like, she settled on that one, so she closed it? But, you know, that's where some of the details sort of, like, lost. Okay, so she's missing. Looks like there's a crack in the universe. Oh, the beginning, wow. So she brought them to, like, a universe where, like, it hasn't properly started yet or something like that. Very interesting place to have a final battle, definitely. Okay, Allura has an effect. Okay, so the strands are the only remaining realities left, okay. Okay, so Allura's gone completely crazy here. It's tragic in a way. Have they done the best job at doing that? Like, I think if they had a bit more time to focus on Nerva, maybe over like a couple of seasons, building towards this reveal that she's willing to destroy all the universes to get the reality she wants, it's perhaps been a little quick, especially with like this season having like two of the more fun episodes, having the first episode be one about dates, dating and stuff like that. Maybe you wish there was a bit more time to set this up, and that they had to use like a flashback episode to even inform you as to what Nerva's been doing the last while. I don't think it's been rushed, but I think it could have been done better. I think it is where I'm landing on it at the moment. Okay, so realities are being destroyed. One strand left. I don't know how they resolve this. It's just the one thing. The stakes are like huge, obviously, with what they're doing here. Okay, some nice choreography there with the sword fighting stuff. Okay, cool, claws. That's a new power-up. Of course, the tail gives her an advantage. All of existence will end. So they have to do like all Bayards, don't they, to end this? Wow, that's quite a booster. Like the whole like engine section of the Atlas basically forms behind Super Voltron. That is, that's really absurd. Like the big wings was already a bit like borderline comical. Okay, here we go. Shiro included as well. Combined power. Okay, pushing her towards the center of all universes is what we're doing here. Okay, white, plain. Everything's missing. So is this another mind space that they're going for? Connected consciousness of all existence. Is this our Korra Kuvira moment for Voltron? Okay, so I like what they're explaining here. You know, like even if something bad happens, you know, you can make something new in your reality. You don't have to change it. Okay, they're the words of a villain, of course. If I can't do it, then why should anyone? Showing her memories. The ones that were kind of hidden, that they saw. Showing her, like, you could go back to this, basically, if you wanted to. You may not have your son or husband, but you can go back to being that way. Okay, honor Lotor's intent, even if he went about it the wrong way. Nothing left to save. From destruction into creation, life-giving. Is she actually going to sacrifice herself here? She like, I've always interpreted like her arc as like the hope of the show. So it's gonna feel weird, I think, if they end the show with her gone. But it feels like they're committing to it here. Crying, hugs. She is the only one who can do this, but curious and fearless. This is really well done in terms of a goodbye, though. No one will know the details, though, okay? It's kind of addressing, I suppose, what she's learned in a way from being around all these people. That plot point wasn't very well done. The whole Keith is Galra thing. Especially initially when they revealed it, like no one had any reaction to it. Okay, here we go, Lance Allura. Voice acting is very good here. Yeah, them setting up the romance and it being really well done makes this really heartbreaking here. Okay, there's the kiss. Lance has the marks. I don't really know what that means as such. I suppose does those marks meant like that he's like worthy or something like that? Like if he could pass the trial of the white line, the Guardian of Oriande, but that's gone. I hope they explained that. Like, this just feels like one of those things where, like, they could just leave it. Okay, we're back in a reality. Okay, now we're going back. There's all the universe realities coming back. Okay, Voltron is unmerged. That explains how they were going to get out of that situation. No one in the blue line, though. That's... Yeah. Empty blue line seat. Lance has the photo from the first episode of this season. Oh, Altea's back. 1 year later. Okay, here we go. We're actually getting an epilogue with 8 minutes to go. That's pretty solid. Kral's era. Oh, Dibazol's back as well. Wolf is huge. Keith leading the Kral's era, apparently. He's referring to himself as a citizen. Try and make everything right. Ezra Rosette's right there. They have a second chance. Galactic Coalition. Someone mentioned that they shouldn't use quintessence anymore or something like that. Here we go. Atlas. Chancellors. Okay, so Hunk, I think they said in a previous episode he'd make a good... It wasn't negotiator, it was... Basically in this exact role. Calming down issues between kind of people. I forget the exact name of the role. His cooking crew from all across the cosmos. Okay. Unity. Okay, peace through all the planets uniting together. That makes sense. There's Matt. Teledove. Colleen was fun this season when they did the whole vlog episode and they had her talking about the plants. That was quite fun. Oh wow, she's making a robot. Okay. Green line, of course. So is the blue line just not being used? That's going to be an interesting one if they fill anyone into that role. Karan, and they gave her a name, I think, in one scene, but like the other Altanes weren't done particularly well. Okay, statue to Allura. There's Lance. Oh, he still has the marks. Okay, that's nice. He misses her. Lance doesn't pilot the red line. Farm. Okay, so all the different species attending class together is a good step towards like galactic unity, I suppose. Meal under the statue. Teledove on the Atlas, okay. Yeah, diplomacy, that's what I was talking about earlier on. Election for the Galra representative. They asked Keith to be the leader, of course. Okay, that's nice. Family. Because that was the kind of theme of what she was talking about in the earlier episodes, bringing up, like, not having a family. Even just earlier on in this episode, mentioning that I lost everything similar to you, but I've made a new family. So that's the picture. Blue line. So who's flying the red line? I assume it's probably some of the other. Oh no, they're flying on their own. Okay, okay. Can someone? Okay, the glowing marks on Lance's face. Not going to explain them. No. Okay, that's cool. Earth has all that crazy stuff going on it. Okay, some pictures here. Older characters. The whole family establishes the next generation of legendary defenders. Okay. Hunk created a culinary empire, bringing the universe together one meal at a time. Okay. Lance continued to spread Allura's message while surrounding himself with the things he loved. There's the flower. Calivan and Kralia became the Galra representatives to the Galactic Coalition. Okay. Keith helped transition the Blade of Marmora to a humanitarian relief organization. Okay. Oh, there's the Ezor Oxia. Shiro found his happiness and finally left the battle behind. He has a new husband. Okay, kiss. Wedding. People are going to be annoyed by that. I know. I know they are, just because of the whole Adam thing, which I get. If they were going to do that as the ending, why not just like have some way where like Adam came back, or like they found Adam at some point? You know, why did you have to kill that character off who actually got a couple of scenes only to like introduce another character who like we don't know anything about later on? Given that they did that, you know, it's nice that they later have the character find happiness like that, but it's a bit of a weird moment, I think. So yeah, that's the show. Overall, I think they did a good job. I like the conversation that they had towards the end when they kind of defeated Onurva, talking to her and, you know, giving her sort of the pep talk, turning her around. Like I said, the kind of Korra Kuvira type scene from Legend of Korra, I appreciate them doing it that way. Allura's sacrifice. I would have appreciated if they maybe went a little bit more in depth on what exactly she did. Because, again, there was a couple of confusing things of just like, okay, Lance has the markings now, but what does that mean? Like, what's the significance behind that? Do I mind that they didn't have, I suppose, the happy shipping ending, given that they didn't really commit to, like, basically any of the ships for the most part, apart from, like, giving Shiro a happy ending right at the end. It's a little bit weird in that, like, they didn't do like Keith Oxia. They didn't commit to that really at all this season or anything like that. Shay is obviously around Hunk, but they didn't really seem to establish if they're like in a romantic relationship or anything. So in that sense, it was a little bit weird, like that the show kind of in the last like 2 or 3 seasons introduced shipping and focusing a little bit on the relationships, only to basically not really have any of them at the end. That definitely feels a little weird. I would have appreciated maybe a little bit more with regards to, like, okay, they said Lance isn't the pilot of the Red Line anymore. Who is? I think just in terms of a reference to, like, they went back and showed us the original Paladins, why not show us the new group of Paladins as well? I get they did the whole, like, the whole family is bringing in the new generation, but they didn't. It was just a still shot that you couldn't really make anything out of. I think that would have been a nice moment to end on, of just kind of seeing the old Paladins look on at whoever are the new ones, just as a way to end the show, that like Voltron will continue. Not that the show will continue, but just that the whole idea of Voltron, the thing that brings everyone together, will continue. Overall, I'd say positive ending. The show, I think, went out on a pretty good note, but I think my initial reaction is that the show, I think, will always go down as being like very good, but not quite excellent. I think it pretty much always fell at the last hurdle with regards to just pure execution on some things. It had some great ideas, and I think you have to applaud the show for, I think, taking an idea where, I know when I first heard that most of the Korra crew, the next show they were moving on to was Voltron as the property, I was kind of like, why are they putting such a good team on something like Voltron? But they managed to turn this into a really great character-driven show that had some amazing emotional moments over the course of its run. And it was very story-driven. It wasn't just your fight of the week type stuff. So I think they deserve praise for that, for being able to do that when I think there was some skepticism at the start, and they turned it into a huge fandom, just with regards to like how big the fandom is on Tumblr and stuff like that. That they deserve praise for that. But as I said, I wouldn't quite go as far as to say it's like, you know, 10 out of 10 overall as a series, or even 9. Probably somewhere in the 7 to 8 range, I think, overall, because obviously some of the early seasons had their ups and downs. And then within some of even the better seasons, there were always kind of plots that were not executed the greatest. But I suppose that's stuff to analyze at a later date. This is my reaction to literally just finishing off the show, and overall I was very pleased with that as a last episode, and for the most part with how it came to an end. I'd perhaps like to see a couple of comics maybe wrap up some stuff a little bit more, see a little bit more time with the characters. But for the most part, I'm happy with how it turned out. So that's my initial thoughts, my reaction to episode 13 of season 8 of Voltron, the last episode of Voltron Legendary Defender. They're my thoughts. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.